All right. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of Labor Live at 5. It's Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock. And so we're coming to you with another show. I hope people had a restful weekend. If you celebrated a holiday or two, then I hope it was meaningful to you. And now we're back to work. And Lord knows there is much work to do this week and in the next few months at the Texas legislature. You know, one of our favorite events that we have in the labor movement every 2 years is the Texas State Employees Union Lobby Day. You can see I'm representing here. Um, and This is just one of the cool things that you get from when you participate in a TSEU Lobby Day. But this year, as in last year, circumstances with COVID are such that we can't march through the streets of downtown Austin and descend upon the Capitol with thousands of state employees and their allies to let legislators know that they need to fund essential public services and treat the people who deliver those services with dignity and respect. But it should be no surprise to anyone that the Texas State Employees Union has come up with a solution to that problem. And to share it with us and to let us know how we can get involved this year with the Texas State Employees Union Lobby Day is Sam Almaguer. Sam is an executive board member of the Texas State Employees Union. He's a member since 1989. He's agreed that he's planning some of the events in Houston, but knows about them all over the state. So we really wanted to hear from Sam what's going on. So Sam, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Rick. It's a pleasure to be here on the podcast. I mean, very early on, we were wondering how we were going to deal with Lobby Day because we did not think that the pandemic would be played out by April. And we're talking about the March of last year as we were
Yeah.
planning this. And so we started coming up with the idea of having a caravan where we could be in our cars, we could be socially distanced, and we could do the caravan. So we're doing events in Austin, and we're doing events in Dallas and San Antonio and some other places here in Houston. Here in Houston, we're going to be meeting at the union office, and we're going to be decorating our cars, and basically people, they're going to be driving alone in their cars, or probably somebody in their household with them in the cars. They're not going to be having contact with other people. We're going to be socially distanced, and so we're going to be doing the caravan. We have plans on going to two different locations,
Yep.
two provinces, because they are open, and
Okay.
I believe we're going to have some uh, members of the legislature either calling in or coming in person.
Cool. So, like, what is it that you all try to do with Lobby Day? Like, why do you have Lobby Day every 2 years? What's the
Well,
point?
what we try to do on Lobby Day is to do, usually what we try to do is in person, but we try to impress upon the legislature of the needs of the agencies to provide services to the citizens of Texas, because Texas workers make Texas work. So we we have to protect our agencies, and one of the ways that we do that is we're asked for funding to provide services at the appropriate level, but we're also asked for funding to pay for the staff so that we can keep the staff. Uh,
Right.
because simply for the type of work that we do, we can be paid more in the private sector.
So, speaking of
Also,
that, Sam, what do you do for the state? What's your job?
I work for Texas Workforce Commission. I do several things. The job postings that people see when they're looking for work, I ensure them into the system. I also do quality assurance. I get the job postings and I read them for accuracy to ensure that they meet TWC standards, United States Department of Labor standards. And if they don't meet it, then I send them back and ask them for, to get them fixed. I also talk to employers. Um, at our office, we don't really see job seekers. We deal mostly with employers. So I talk to employers that want to set up an account, or they're having issues accessing their account, or they want a particular service. And so what I do is I
Got it.
connect them to people that can provide that service.
Well, it must have been an interesting job in the last year with pandemic. And were you as overwhelmed as most of the folks that work for the TWC were?
Well, I was one of the people that was transferred to work on the unemployment benefits sector,
Yeah,
uh, and that was very stressful. But they broke it down, and so I was only doing a small part of the puzzle, so to speak. And so that's how they dealt with it. They got people that were not working in unemployment benefits to come in and to just do a small part, so that the people that have the most experience would have most of that work done already, that needed to be
yeah.
done to provide the services.
That's interesting because, like, I remember during the height of the pandemic, and people were so frustrated with the Texas Workforce Commission because it was so hard to get through, and to actually get a person to be able to help you access your benefits, and people
Absolutely.
were waiting on. And so I know that we took great care to point out to people that their frustration was not with the person who ultimately answered the phone, but the frustration was with the system. Um, Working there, did you feel like people understood that, or did you feel like people were, uh, mad at you personally? Did you feel like you were taking a lot of abuse from the public?
Both ways.
Really?
Both ways. And I think a lot of people understood, but it's hard to be understanding when you have to pay the rent and the landlord doesn't wait. You have to pay for the car loan, and the lender doesn't wait, and the light bill doesn't wait. And so it's hard to be understanding when you got to pay those bills, and you have the right to get unemployment, but you're not getting it. So I get that. But on the other hand, we were getting as many claims in I think in the first 6 months as we usually get in 3 years. So it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, the system itself that we were using was already obsolete even before the pandemic.
Right. Yeah, and so that kind of brings it back around to lobby day. I mean, part of what y'all advocate for is making sure that the systems aren't obsolete, that you as workers have the ability to have the tools to actually serve the people that rely on your agency.
Well, one of the big problems is that the state has been trying to privatize uh, the the basically the people that work in workforce development. They've been trying to privatize it, and so they have been trying to. What they have been doing is not filling positions as they
Right,
become available,
right,
and so increasing them. And so when the pandemic happened, we had nothing to fall back on. We had nothing to fall back on. So we need to have appropriate levels of staffing, so that we can provide the proper service to the citizens of Texas, and that wasn't happening.
right.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
when you talk like that, it starts to be kind of a pattern in a way. I mean, when we look at what happened with serving people during the pandemic, we saw that obviously the pandemic was you know, hopefully a once in a lifetime situation in terms of the stress that it put on the system. But then we see the same thing like with the recent power blackout that, the power system was running so close to the edge in an attempt to maximize short-term profit and to eliminate any kind of regulation or planning. And then when something happens, we're not in a position to respond. So that seems kind of like the philosophy of this state to,
well,
just let bad
the
stuff happen and
philosophy
then
the philosophy of the state is basically to minimize as much as possible the services that the state provides, and that is a foolish policy. Uh, because, like I said earlier, state workers make Texas work,
Yeah.
and so if you do minimize uh, state employees, you're going to have these type of situations coming up over and over again.
Yeah. So I know that some of the issues that y'all are going to be talking about on Wednesday, and again, Wednesday is Texas State Employees Union Lobby Day. It's going to be happening all over the state. Car caravans. I think we're going to put up a link where you can find out where events are near you. But some of the issues that I know you're going to be focusing on are privatization, funding of agencies, raises for workers, pensions. I know is a big deal because they've talked about finally fixing the pension shortfall for state employees, and yet so far they've taken no action to do that. And so those are pretty much the main issues. Are there other ones that I'm leaving out?
Those are the main issues. Those are the main issues. I think also we still have to talk about the safety of state employees because even though there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel concerning the pandemic, we're still in the tunnel, and
Yes.
until everybody gets vaccinated, you know, state workers are still going to be vulnerable because even if you have the vaccine, there's still all these other variants that are coming around. So the vaccine does offer some protection, but it doesn't offer 100% protection.
No, absolutely, and definitely have to put the safety of the workers first because that's kind of the chain that holds us all together, the links that hold us all together. So
Absolutely.
where can people find out about events in their area, Sam?
Well, they can go to our website, which is cwa-tseu.org.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and so they can find the phone numbers to the different offices in the Houston
Hmm.
area. Uh, and so they can get in touch they can get in touch with those offices. They can also the website really does have a lot of information on all the different events that are going on.
Great. And so are you asking union supporters around the state to log in and find out a way to get involved? Is that what you're asking folks?
Absolutely, and there's still time. I think if they can take the time, uh, they they should come and join us in the caravan. If not, they can call in.
Yeah.
Uh, they can call in, and the phone numbers are at the website cwa-tseu.org.
Uh-huh.
So uh, the important thing is we need to get people involved, and we need to get people to call, uh, to call the legislatures and tell them that state workers deserve a pay raise.
There you go. Got it. And so, Sam, here's like the two key questions. All right, you ready? I mean, I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
warn you, but I told you we were going to have tough questions. Okay, so here comes the first one. Like, what do you have to do? Like, what do you have to do to get one of these cool shirts? Like, I mean,
Basically,
I mean, I
and
mean,
anyone,
look,
okay.
I've been wearing this. I've been wearing this for 8 hours, and I can't get anything done today because people keep like coming up and they, hey, dude, can I give you that?
Well,
What do I need to give you for that shirt? So what do we do about that?
basically, they can get in touch. They can get in touch with the local offices. Uh, is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
I think right now it is probably too late to order one from Austin. To
Wow.
arrive in time.
Okay.
So the easiest way would be to get in touch with their
They're
closest
local.
office.
Okay, got it. That's the first thing. The second thing now, this one may be a little more difficult. Mark, can you put the graphic up there about the lobby day on us for? Now, where do we get that? I mean, who gets that car when lobby day's over? I mean, how are we
Okay,
going to decide? How are
okay.
we going to
I,
decide who drives off with that?
if
Because
I
I'm
have
thinking maybe as the host of like the award-winning Labor Live at 5, I'm thinking
oh
driving around town with that would be good for the union. So I'm thinking maybe you could hook me up. What do you think?
if I have anything to do with it, I'm gonna keep that car.
Oh, you No, wrong. That is the wrong answer. All right. Well, that's
No,
fine.
well, hey, I like that car as much as you do. I
Okay. All
like that
right.
car as much as you do.
All right. Well, that's one of the greatest action graphics we've seen. So congratulations to the State Employees Union for that. But look,
Absolutely. Uh, the people that do our graphics at the office, they're awesome. Uh, I think his name is Chris Snap, that does the graphics, and he's very talented. And I know John Bear is probably also involved in that as well.
okay.
Uh,
All right.
so
Well, I see people popping up saying shirts are going to be on sale at the Caravan. So that's a good way
yes,
to get it. So very good. Very good. Well, listen, we talk about shirts, we talk about cars, but the real benefit of participating in Labor Day, I mean, in Lobby Day is that feeling of solidarity, that at the Texas AFL-CIO is like the center of what we do. And the feeling that you get when you come out for another union struggle, when you show up for a group of workers that have been mistreated by the state, um, and
oh, absolutely.
stand with them is something that you can't put a price on that. So we just really appreciate you, Sam, for joining us and sharing the information about the event, and give you the last word for whatever you want to say to the folks out there watching.
Well, we have a couple of things. We're asking for a $6,000 a year raise. I know it may seem like it's a lot of money, but we really, I think in the past 11 years, we've only gotten like around 3% raise, and we've had about 16% inflation at that time. We need to protect our pensions. The people, retirees have not received the pension, I believe, since 2005, a pay raise. And the inflation in the past 15 years has been 50%. So those are very key issues. Also, we need to protect staffing and to provide good quality service to the citizens of Texas, because that's our most important thing, is to protect the services that we provide to the citizens of this state.
And that's a beautiful note to end on, Sam, because that's the one thing that I would hope people can understand is the real dedication when you work for the state to really doing the job to serve people. And the state shouldn't be making that harder for you. The state should be making that easier to actually deliver services to people. So the first step in that is showing up on Lobby Day on Wednesday. I'll be there. I hope to see many of our viewers there as well. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise and your vision with us. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. You're actually like a great activist at the highest level
Wow.
for labor.
Wow. Thank you,
It,
Sam. I appreciate that.
it,
It's an honor to be in the same movement with you, my brother. I appreciate it.
thank
And
you.
so, now I just have to say something about next week's show, which is, we have our producer Mark Maldonado and his cast of thousands behind the scenes are talking about that we need to step it up a little bit on Labor Live at 5. So I hear that there are some changes coming. I can't go into them now, but we're going to be elevating. Let's put it that way. We're going to be elevating. So look forward to seeing everybody next Monday and every Monday at 5 o'clock. Sam, again, thank you to the brothers and sisters and siblings and the Texas State Employees Union, and we'll see you all next week.
Uh,
Take care. Thanks,
I'm
Sam.
I'm